Welcome to Crimepedia. I am your host. I am Morgan, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host. She's my true crime best friend. It's Cherry. Hi, Cherry.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you and to all of our listeners.
Yes. Hopefully you got lots and lots of chocolate, lots of goodies. I've been seeing loads of people with their kids and stuff and Easter egg hunts on Instagram, which has been really nice. And our little Crimepedia baby, Valentina, she had her very first Easter Bunny's first visit. That was really cute.
That was
Really
very
sweet.
cute.
Yeah. So
No,
did you get any Easter eggs?
I did not, but I have a daughter who did. And so,
you've just
yes,
been
I did.
eating hers. That's so bad. I got an Easter egg actually. My mother-in-law bought me an Easter egg, which is really nice of her. Bless her. She was my Easter egg buyer this year. That was really nice.
Oh,
yeah, so that was good.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that was very, very nice.
Yeah, we've got a few hellos to do. We need to say hello to Bex, the glam farmer. Hello, Bex. Thank you very much for your lovely message on Instagram. We appreciate it. And also to Jacqueline, who has suggested a case for us to cover. I've just been reading through her messages now. So thanks, Jacqueline. We will look into that for you. So that's exciting. Thanks for sending over your case suggestions. We always appreciate them. You can send them over Instagram or our website and we're talking about websites and stuff. I got my Crimepedia merch this week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, ready for CrimeCon next week. So that's exciting. Crimepedia merch.
Very exciting.
It is. Yeah, I was really excited when it came.
Now, have you been doing your other shopping?
Don't. I've got piles of clothes ready to take. It's just one of those things. There's loads to take and sort out because you never know, do you? I've been looking at the weather and I'm like, what do you pack for? You just don't know, do you? There'll be absolutely no bikinis, that's for sure. But shorts and stuff, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah,
depends how much downtime we get.
Well, plenty of downtime, I think.
Plenty of sunbathing downtime. Or no, plenty of cocktails in the bar downtime.
It's weird this year because I don't know if there's a set time for Podcast Row.
No,
I mean there's there's a block of time that we can be there. All I know is we have to be there for 8 hours over the course
something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I think we ought to mention the fact that we haven't actually got a case this week before we just waffle on and everyone's waiting for the case to start. Because of Easter, there is no case this week.
There is no case this week, but we did want to hop on and record something and say hello to all of our listeners out there. But we do have something. We do have something for our listeners this week.
We do. Yes, we do.
We are actually going to be giving you a little sneak peek. I don't know if a sneak peek is the right word. We're going to be playing our Crimepedia Extra that we had recorded and put out for our Patreons last week. So we're going to let all of our listeners hear it for multiple reasons. I think the biggest one is usually our Crimepedia Extras are a little lighthearted.
Yeah, they're very fun, aren't they? They're non-scripted. They're just usually a load of waffle, us two talking and chatting about whatever that week. So it's usually a load of fun, really.
Yeah, but last week it was we ended up being a little bit more serious, and that's because we have been working on a project which we're going to be releasing here in a not too distant future. And I think we both, at the end of it, or at the end of last week, we were kind of mentally exhausted from it in a good way.
Yeah. It was they're all very sad cases, but this one was a particularly sad case in that we spoke to the victim's mum and also police officers that worked on this case. And so it was a very different type of case for us that we've got for a forthcoming episode. And it's kind of just like a bit of an insight into probably a chat we would have had straight after, like we normally would, talk over what we've just done. And it was kind of like a wind down from that set of interviews and that kind of stuff. And it was just it was a bit crazy, wasn't it? It was in before we started a new case. And it was just a bit of a chat, wasn't it, between the two of us?
Yeah. It wasn't planned at all. I mean,
no. And it's a case that
think
hasn't been reported anywhere else. We are the first
Yeah.
people to cover this case. And
Well,
so to be trusted by the parents, that was
I
very
would say
cool.
I would say covered to the extent in which we're going to be covering it.
Has anybody else covered this case at all?
No,
I don't think they have. I think we're the first podcast to cover it.
No, you know what? I think there was at least one other podcast that might have covered it when it was still like ongoing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was 5 years ago, I believe.
Right. Okay.
And even with that, it was, a lot of speculation, and really people didn't know the whole story. And that was the most interesting thing about the case, is that the amount of information we were able to receive, and the, what the investigators were able to talk about and kind of go over the whole investigation.
And
it's
non-speculation. There's no speculation whatsoever. It's all fact, because it's straight from the people involved in the case. So there's no speculation in our episode at all. It's all, this is what happened. This is how it happened. That kind of thing. So it's a very different case to what we normally do. And obviously it's a solved case now. And that's very different to what we usually do as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I still think that there's something to learn from
definitely
the case, and from, really, we learned a lot just
we did
from our experience.
Definitely. Yeah, it's going to be a really good episode. I think people will find it really interesting, and hopefully it spreads a word and helps. If it helps just one other person, then it's worth all the work that we put into it.
Absolutely. So without further delay, here is Crimepedia Extra.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey, Jerry.
I got in there first that time. That was good.
You did.
I never do.
No, you don't. No.
Do you know what time it is? You say that usually as well.
It's time for Crimepedia Extra.
Woo!
Yay! I'm tired.
I'm really tired. We have had a tough week of recording this week. It's been crazy, hasn't it?
It has. We've done 5 hours of interviews this week.
Yeah. And time difference is not friendly to us.
No,
it's really
you were up
not.
until like 1 a.m. the other day.
I was, yeah. On video too. And that was hard because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. They probably think I look so rough because it's 1 a.m. and everyone there is like 5 a.m., 5 p.m. and you all look really nice and awake. Yeah. That was hard. It's been mentally exhausting, hasn't it? I think this case that we've done this week, which will be available in not too distant future. It won't be too long. Yeah. It's a lot. We've got a lot of editing to do for it. But it's a very hard case. Mentally, I think this is one of the hardest ones we've done.
We can't talk too much about it. But I'm interested to see. I know that like before we started the recording process and the interviews, I don't want to say you had doubts about it, but you had questions about it.
I did. I really did.
And now I'm curious. Like, how do you feel after we've gone through this process?
I feel my mind has changed quite a lot. Since speaking to the law enforcement and speaking to, no, that's a lie. Not law enforcement. I didn't change my mind after speaking to law enforcement. I changed my mind after speaking to the victim's mum.
Yeah.
That changed my mind completely. Because I it's always the way. Like, I don't know whether it's just because I am a mum, but having spoken to Keisha about her son's murder, and now having spoken to this lady about her daughter's murder, there's just this feeling in your stomach that you just get this like ache. And I don't know whether it's you resonate because you're a parent, or it's that horrible, I wish I could make this better for you. I wish I could just take a little bit of the hurt away. And I know that there's nothing I can say and there's nothing I can do that will ever help these people. And I hate that. I hate it. And I spoke to a psychiatrist, not actually a psychiatrist, not as in I went to see a psychiatrist, a friend of mine who I will introduce you to at CrimeCon is a psychiatrist. And he said to me in a conversation, I think that you are one of those people that wants to make the world a better place because you take on all this stuff. And he said, you want to fix everybody. And he said, I think you're frustrated that you can't. And I said, that is exactly me. I want to fix it. I want to make them feel better. And it frustrates me that I can't. And after this interview, I did change my mind a lot on my first thoughts of the case.
Yeah. And I think what's tough when you're doing a true crime podcast, not every case, not every person that you talk about, it has a superb background.
Yeah.
You know, people have, everybody has issues.
Yeah.
Some issues are larger than other issues. But ultimately, regardless of what their issues may be or may not be, everyone deserves to have a voice, to have a say, to have justice.
Yes.
Regardless of what they may or may not have done.
Yes.
With this specific case.
Except for pedophiles.
Yes. Of course.
Just want to get that in there.
Yes.
I have no tolerance for that shit. No.
But I think specifically in this case is.
Yeah.
And it's going to make more sense when we release it. There's this is a case that there was a lot of social media involvement in it. There's a lot of, internet detective involvement in it. You get caught up sometimes too much in the details of the crime and of the person, what you think you know the person, that you really miss who that person really is or really was.
I also think that doing this podcast has changed my life. In all honesty, it has absolutely changed my life, because I think that, like you say, you read stuff on the internet, you read stuff and you automatically make a judgment, or you automatically have a thought of what that is. And then after this episode, you'll see what I mean in when I say, you never ever have the facts that the police do. You never have the full, they never release the full information, and you make up your mind on what you've got, and what you've got is not nearly enough.
No.
After speaking to the detectives that we did and speaking to them and hearing things, you kind of think, God, that's right. That's what we do. We read Reddit, we read Facebook, we read comments that people have made. We put in, what if this happened? What if that happens? We do it on our show. We offer things that we think could help, but it's from a helpful point of view. It's something, I wonder if they considered this. I wonder if they thought of this, which they probably did, because that's their jobs. But sometimes, you're only human. Sometimes you might see something that nobody thought of, and you do that in the hope that that one thing may help. But when you look at social media, I don't think I know that not everybody has that intention. Not everybody has that good intention.
No.
And that's really sad, because those words and those comments are about a real person with a real life and a real family.
And those comments and those statements about people, they last. And sometimes they become the lasting memory of a person who deserves better than that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
You kind of forget sometimes that the victim was a person.
Yeah. And I think you should never lose sight of that. Never.
Never.
You
got to remember,
sight of that.
People are complex.
Yeah.
Humans are complex.
They are.
There's not one way to be a human.
No.
There's not one correct way. They come in all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And,
with different backgrounds.
Different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
We're all different.
We are.
And we can't take people and we can't fit them within the same box.
No. And I think that
for me, I try in our podcast, I try and talk about people as if it were my family. How would I feel if I was listening to me talking? How would I feel if that was my daughter or my son or my mum? And I hope that we do a good job. I hope that that comes across to people, that we don't do this to make a lot of money. We don't do this to be famous. It's something that we're both really passionate about, justice and truth and good things, and trying to help people. That's something that we both have in common, and that's why we do this. And I hope that that comes across to people, and I hope that comes across to people's families too, the victims that we do talk about, because that's the truth. I'm not 100% not a journalist that can, I've proved that. I'm not the sort of person that can just go in there and fire questions at somebody about the worst time of their life. I've got too much empathy for that. I can't do it. And it's hard. It's very hard.
And you leave that to me.
I leave it to you because you can do that. I can't do it. We just talked about I'm the good cop, you're the bad cop.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
but here's the thing: it's something that you don't want to do.
No,
but you need.
I won't.
You have to. I know you won't.
I won't. That's the thing. I won't compromise on that because I won't do it. If I see a question that somebody wants me to ask and I think, not doing that, and I would understand if you didn't do it either. If you want to do it, that's I'm with you on it. But if you don't want to, then no.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
No.
It's funny how it's funny, isn't it? Like, we are people too. And I try so hard sometimes not to burst into tears in some of the interviews that we do. I failed miserably in CrimeCon. The minute I met her, I burst into tears. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know whether that's because I'm a mum, whether that's just because I'm just me, or I don't know. But I would rather be labelled a crap podcaster because I can't ask those questions than I would for making someone feel that shit in a thing just to get my podcast notice, Yeah. But I think I would be better. Like I said to you, I think I'd be better if I was interviewing somebody who did something bad. I think I could do really well at that. But victims, not so much.
No, it's tough.
You do a great job.
But
I admire you. You're very good at what you do.
No, you do so much better than I do.
No, I'm the soft one. You get the job done. That's the difference.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good, and it was meaningful. I mean,
I think so. No, I know what you're saying.
Everything we do is meaningful, but this one just was. This one hit a little differently.
It did. It really did. I don't know why so much, because I'm not sure. I'm really not sure why.
Because I don't know. I think there's multiple things. I know people listening right now. They're going crazy. Like, what is it? What is it? What is it?
Yeah.
You'll find out. You'll find out. But with this one, it's like it didn't need to happen. It shouldn't have happened.
No. Yeah. Every mother's nightmare. And father. I'm not taking it away from the dads. I'm just talking from a mum's point.
No, absolutely.
I don't mean to take it away from the dads too. Maybe it's because we're both parents. Perhaps that's why this is so hard. Perhaps that's why it's so hard, because we both have daughters. We both, we're both bringing up girls, and perhaps that's why.
And yeah, exactly. And your instinct is to protect, but when you're not even given the opportunity to protect your son or daughter, whatever it might be, there's just something about that's just. It's hard. It's hard,
I think so. I think you're right. And I think your children, you raise them from like tiny babies that can't do anything. And then you raise them to adulthood, and you have to let them go. You don't want to, but you have to. They have to have a life. They have to go out and make their way in the world. And that's really scary for your child to be off out in the world, and you don't have that parental control anymore. They're then adults at like 18. I don't know. What is their adult age over there? 21 or 18?
18.
So same here.
18.
So like they're 18 years old, they're out in the world doing what they do, and you don't have that anymore. And to suddenly have something so horrific happen and you
Mhm.
are then in the hands of law enforcement and protocol and red tape, and you're not, that's your child, and you don't know everything, and you can't know everything because of different reasons, and you only know what people are telling you. That
Yeah.
is awful. I mean, that's absolutely awful. And then to be in a courtroom opposite somebody who took your child away with no regard for their life whatsoever. We've talked about this before. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how. I just can't comprehend it, because thankfully it's never happened to me, and I
Yeah.
hate the fact that it's happening to people. This should never be a thing. And I just think humans sometimes are just terrible. What we do to
Yeah.
each other sometimes is just terrible. I mean, you only have to listen to the news at the moment and what's going on over in Ukraine, and we're just, people sometimes are just awful. Like,
Mhm.
what are we doing? What are we
But
doing in the
for
world?
what reason? What
Exactly, for what?
reason?
There's never a good reason to do this kind of stuff.
Mm-mm.
It's just, I don't know. It's horrible, isn't it? You come out with something like this and you just think, I just want to go and hug everybody. I just want to go and
Oh,
hug
yeah.
everybody. And I love you so much, and you mean so much to me. Remember that. I love you. Because
Mhm.
you just never know, do you? When that, you always think it will never happen to you and your family.
Yeah.
And, we've just, yeah.
The nice thing that I got out of this was just seeing how much love,
Mm,
after everything victim families go through,
mm,
and all the heartache
mm,
and the suffering and the confusion,
mm,
out of all of that, at the end of the day, the one thing that's there for
mm,
them
mm-hmm.
is love, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That's what love is there for them.
Yeah.
And you could see it, like, when we had this, so mom, we interviewed mom, and then grandma was there. And to see that between
Mm,
the two of them,
mm-hmm.
like, they didn't even have to say anything.
No, you could see it,
They didn't
couldn't
have to say
you?
it. Yeah.
The bond is just, yeah, the bond is there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing thing to witness.
Yeah.
It's just, you like to think, maybe, okay, if anything good came out, is like, maybe just that, I don't know, just that, knowing that no matter what, someone's gonna be there that's gonna love you.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's really nice. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. This is a super serious episode
I
of Point
know.
Break
This
Extra.
is like our most, but this is the thing. This is, if you can see behind the scenes of a podcast, well, maybe not all podcasts, but our podcast at least, you can see after an interview. We've just done a 2.5 hour interview with a victim's mum, and this is how I feel. And I'll feel like this for quite a long time. For days, I'll feel like this.
Mhm.
And also, every single case that we cover, you never forget things. I know that police say that they see horrific things all the time, but, and we see it in photos and stuff, but like silly things, like, my daughter walking home, and I'll think about, oh my God, I'll think of a case that we've done, and I think, oh God, I hope that she's not going that way. I hope that she's not doing this. I hope that, if somebody approaches her like that, she wouldn't do that. And I think it's just, yeah, I think it does change things. It does change the way you do things. We've talked
Mhm.
about it before, when we talked with them, Seeing Red, the podcast, and they said, like, have doing the podcast, has that changed the way you do things? And I'm like, yeah, I check my backs of my car before I get in. I won't walk
Mhm.
down a certain road at a certain time and things like that. I don't do the same routine every morning, because I walk myself to work every day really early in the morning, and I don't walk the same way. I don't leave at the same time. And I do that because I do this for a job. So,
Yeah.
it's funny, isn't it, how it does affect you personally. It does,
Mhm.
and it does affect you personally.
I don't wanna toot my own horn, but I will.
Go
I came
for
up with
it.
an
Toot your
I came
horn.
up
Go on.
came up with an amazing idea.
Okay.
Okay. And so if you're at CrimeCon this year
Mhm.
and you come see us,
Mhm.
when you come up to our table, you are going to see some amazing artwork.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a really good idea of yours. I think that was a really lovely, thoughtful idea. Really lovely.
The victim, she was an amazing artist.
She was. Yeah.
We saw just a few of her pieces, but
Mhm.
we are going to have some images or copies of some of her artwork
Yeah.
being displayed at our table. So as people come up and say hello and, we talk to them, introduce ourselves, it gives them the opportunity to see it and ask questions about it. So, hey,
Yeah.
and then it'll give us the opportunity to then talk about the victim
Yeah, definitely.
and to keep her memory alive. So, so if you're going to be at CrimeCon, make sure you definitely ask us about it, and we will.
I think that was very thoughtful of you to suggest that. Actually, I think her mum really appreciated that. I think it was really lovely. You did a good job there.
Yeah, I don't. It's just something that popped in my head. Once I saw it, I'm like, yeah, we got to do something.
She's amazing. I mean, that.
Oh no, she was. Yeah,
the first picture was just amazing. That was a gorgeous, gorgeous photo. Lovely for her mum to keep. I think that's really nice.
So
now I feel bad about this case that we're doing this week because it's very sad, and it's just going to depress everyone even more because it's not a great case. It's unsolved, and I wish I could just bring you a solved case. That's what we should have done this week. We should have done, not knowing in advance, but we should have done a solved case just so we feel like we've got justice for someone.
We should have done an hour of Dumb Criminal.
Oh, that would have been good. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think after this, we need to do this in the future. Next time we do an interview like this, we need to plan a fun thing to do straight after.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
I think so.
I feel like just not run down. I don't know.
Deflated, I think. I feel a bit like a helium balloon that's lost its helium a bit. I feel like I want to go and gather everyone up and hug them all and then just text everyone and tell them how much I love them. It's funny, isn't it? How it affects you.
I need really some sort of I don't know.
Spirit.
I got to make something warm for dinner,
Yeah. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Comfort food. That's what you need. Oh, I've got some peanut M&Ms downstairs, actually. I might have some of them in a minute.
You know what we should do? Everyone, pause this right now and either go to your mom's house, give her a hug.
Yeah, or phone her or text her.
Or phone her right now.
Right now. Just do it. Just trust us on this one. Just do it.
Or your dad or
whoever.
Grandma,
husband,
aunt, uncle, husband, whoever. Just here, we'll give you 10 seconds.
Pause us.
Go quiet.
Yeah.
Pause us. You're not going to miss anything. You are not going to miss anything. We're going to say nothing for the next 10 seconds. So pause us and just call someone. Call someone and just for no reason and just tell them you love them. Whatever.
Oh, Morgan, I love you. You're a great co-host. You're a really good friend. You're missing nothing. They paused anyway, so.
Oh, yeah.
They paused. They've gone and done it. They'll come back to us now. We're all good.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I hope that made you feel better. And if it didn't make you feel better, hopefully it made them feel better.
Yeah, I know it would. To get that text message is a really nice thing.
Yeah. All right, Cherry. Well, how about we end this episode like we always do and do a little Dumb Criminal?
Let's do it.
Or maybe, how about Dumb Criminals?
Let's do a Dumb Criminal each this week.
Hey, criminal, use a dummy.
So let me tell you about a group of dumb criminals from Belgium. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was a few years ago. There was a Belgian e-cigarette shop owner identified simply as Didier, when a half dozen wannabe armed robbers showed up mid-afternoon at his store outside of Charleroi. Now, he told them at the time that 3 p.m. is not the best time to hold up a store, and that if they came back later on, he'd possibly have more euros to hand over.
Oh no.
Now, surprisingly, the burglars decided, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Not a bad
And they
idea.
agreed, and they left.
No.
Okay. Well, DDA did call the police at that time, but they didn't believe his story that the suspects would actually return.
They're going to come back.
But they did. They did come back. But they didn't come back just once. They actually came back twice. Okay.
Oh no.
Now, first, the suspects showed back up at around 5:30 p.m. All right. DDA shook his head at their too early return and said to them, "You have to buy a watch." No, instead said, "Come back at 6:30 when the store would be closed for the evening." Okay. Now, the robbers once again came back an hour later, but this time there were plainclothes police officers there to arrest them.
Idiots. Oh my god. Oh, that is so
Now,
stupid.
Five of the criminals were arrested, including at least one minor, and the sixth happened to at least got away at that time.
Yeah. That's crazy. How stupid. Come back later when I've got a chance to
Come back
phone the
later.
police and have people waiting for you, you idiots. I have got an equally stupid one for you. There were two officers in Detroit, in Michigan. They were demonstrating how their patrol car's felon locating system works to the children of a neighborhood during an educational lesson. Now, a man called R.C. Gateland walked up to them and asked them about the process, like, how does it work? So to show him how the system worked, they asked him to give them his ID or driver's license as part of the demonstration so they could show the kids.
No.
When they put his driver's license into the system, they found out that he was wanted for robbery, which was committed 2 years previously, and arrested him. What an
Oh my
idiot.
God.
Why would you go and offer your details
No.
up? If you know, I mean, he must know he was wanted for robbery. He's just gone up there and go, so how does this work? How do you catch felons? Well, sir, just give us your ID. Okay. Arrested. What an idiot. Oh, that did move
That is
people.
crazy.
I know. How stupid can you be?
That's so dumb. So dumb.
My favourite part, I love the dumb criminals. It's so funny that people are
I
this
know you
silly.
do.
I'm going to make us a dumb criminal shirt, I think, for our merch store.
Oh yeah.
We need to have a bye, as suggested by
Bye.
one of our listeners. And we also need to have a something
A
to do with
dumb
dumb criminals. We have to.
Yeah.
It'll be so much fun. I'll find
No,
one.
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll make one up and put it in
Absolutely.
the store. Your map shirt has become quite popular. People like the I love map.
I love map because people
Yeah.
love map.
Yeah, it's quite cool. So we've had quite a bit going out of our merch store this week. So if you are interested in getting some merch, we've got all different stuff on there, t-shirts or vests or all sorts of things. You can just go on to the Crimepedia podcast website and then go to the... Can you hear my bird?
I hear it. It's fine. Whatever.
Usually he's not in the room, but he's had a couple of episodes of falling off his perch this week, and so
No.
I feel really bad putting him out because I'm trying to keep an eye on him. He fell off and had like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of episode, and he couldn't get up and couldn't fly. So
Oh.
I feel really bad, like taking him, shutting him out the room.
Yeah.
So
Well, if there's any week for him to be
tweeting in the background.
tweeting in the background, it's this week.
He's allowed this week. He's not been very well,
Yeah.
so keeping an eye on him. Poor old Sid.
Well, there you have it. So if you enjoyed this week's episode and you stuck with us and you want to get more Crimepedia Extra, you can do so by joining our Patreon.
Mhm.
And we will be back next week with my episode, right?
Yeah, your episode next week.
So we will have a new episode next week. It'll be my case.
And then we're off to Vegas.
Then we'll off to Vegas. Yes, we will be.
How exciting. Ah, so excited.
I know. But for now, what do you always say?
For now, be nice
Oh, yeah. For now, be nice.
and bye. It doesn't sound the same when I do it. It sounds much better when you do it. That's better.
Bye.
That's much better.